I'm sorry, please, in case I mentioned your name someone, please forgive me, and we can settle this course once we're done with this program. Thank you. I can buy you chocolate anyways. So welcome, Ene, welcome, Sola, welcome, Grace Divine, welcome, Jimoke, welcome, Lavina, welcome, Mojisola, welcome, Obina, welcome, Ubuntu, welcome, Olamide Ogunsoya, welcome, Omowumi Ayo Ade, welcome, Oyikonsola, welcome to Luani, welcome to Mason, welcome Yemisi, welcome Yosi, welcome Babs, welcome Peacemaker, welcome Moro Yundia. I'm sorry, I asked for forgiveness before this. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know where you're joining from. We might have people from diaspora. So good morning, everybody, once again. And thank you. This is a big welcome. Thank you for joining us for the February edition of Financial Intelligence webinar. And as you can, maybe you might have seen on the flyer and all of that, today's edition is targeted towards helping as many people in this room as possible to, earn their first income from the real estate space. And this also means that you are going to be learning quite a lot today, and is also going to be action-oriented. And there are three things I want you to understand this morning before we get right into it. And the first one is going to be a mindset activation, which means you have to activate this on your mind. So please don't treat this as a casual Zoom meeting, right? Don't treat this as a casual Zoom meeting. Minimize distraction as much as possible. Get your notepad, your pen, in case you don't have that with you. Get water, get something to snack on in case you might need that, so that you minimize distraction of standing up to get whatever it is you want, right? And also, please, I'm going to beg you, I'm going to implore you, I'm going to do everything possible to help you to be expectant. If you were here for January edition, you understand what I'm talking about, right? So be expectant. Expect a lot from today's edition. It's going to teach you a lot about real estate. It's going to teach you a lot about the investment strategies and quite a lot of secrets about the real estate space. And lastly, while this is going on, please, in case you have your questions, note them down as much as possible. Just note your questions down so that once it's time for you to, ask your questions, you won't forget and you would have your important questions answered, right? So once again, thank you for joining in for February edition. In case you invited your friends and you're not seeing them here yet, please tell them to come in because this has started already. Thank you once again. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the flight. Thank you.
Once again, welcome to the online webinar on real estate and how to understanding the market and all. So, my name is Oki Samuel. So sorry for that. My name is Oki Samuel. Once again, welcome you all to this online webinar. So like I said, my name is Oki Samuel and I'm also the community manager for the Abode Wealth community, which started in January when we first had our first FIW, that's financial webinar, that came up January. So I'm going to be briefly talking about our wealth community, where we share insights and learn about wealth in order to build financial freedom in Nigeria. So, like I said, our community started this January, after our first FIW, which we had in January. So it's a financial community that we created in Abode that provides members with resources and knowledge for them to be able to achieve financial independence and financial goals. I hope you all we all want to be financially buoyant. We all want to be financially freedom, want to be able to afford the necessities of life, which includes shelter, food, clothing, and the necessary things. So Abode Wealth Community was created to teach people about their finances and for them to understand better. So there are key benefits that our members are going to enjoy. So if you have joined January and you have also joined recently due to from filling the form that was about this webinar. So we have access to exclusive investment opportunities. You learn about your finances, you learn how to invest, you learn how to save, you learn how to also divest, which is another term. Expert advice and education. We will advise you on things you should do in terms of budgeting, in terms of knowing your risk for someone that wants to invest, in knowing whether you should be a short-term investor, a long-term investor, then networking and collaboration. We all know that we cannot build wealth alone. We need people. Networking is a way of building wealth easily and faster. So our community helps you to network. And our plan for this year is to have at least 2,000 members in which we can teach about finance and for them to be able to be financially independent in so many aspects. So looking into the future, we want this wealth community to be able to teach a lot of individuals about wealth. I want this community to go just beyond the landscape of online. We want it to be a community where we can all meet, have gatherings, have live sessions where we could meet, talk about our experiences, be able to bring in new people. So finally, I'm welcoming us to this online webinar where we're going to learn about real estate. We all know real estate, and real estate is a great vehicle in building wealth. So once again, I welcome you all, and I hope you have a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. Good morning, everyone. Lord Jesus, help me. Yeah, great. Good morning. Good morning, sirs. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Amazing. It's nice to have everyone joining today here and mentors. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity and the privilege. I do not take it for granted. Thank you very much, Samuel, too, for running us through what the Abode World Community's future holds like. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out to be here today to learn. When I see gatherings of people like this, okay, let me take a pause. Just to be sure that I'm audible enough, can I just get an inclination in the chat box before I begin to rush through on it? Just to be sure I'm audible. Just wanted to confirm, but I'm good. Can we go here? Okay, yeah, great. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, great. I always count it, thanks, Gideon. I always count the thing of importance, especially the kind of climbs and movements that we have right now as a nation, for people to show up in gatherings like this. I feel like it takes a lot of God. Last week we held a fiscal session, with some of our team of people show up than we expected, even in the midst of all these Naira issue, fuel issue all put together. It shows how strong and tenacious that we can be as Nigerians. In some other climes, when we have things like this, the entire country is shut down. Don't get to move at all. But I like the perseverance. Somebody's thinking, we don't need fuel to be on a live webinar like this. Some people will still use that as an excuse of them not to learn. And the first thing I share with them is that your ability to look beyond the storm is what gives you the advantage. Your ability to know that these moments that we're going in as a nation, and I have to start with that because we're all experiencing one way or the other. Right, that is going to pass. There's a way that you don't allow this situation. Some people will make decisions from these situations that will mark the rest of their destiny. some people will use this in the excuses that they will give for not taking action. So somebody can use, you will be surprised that the typical Nigerian can use the excuse of no fuel or no naira for not being in a gathering like this that has to do with things that, going to be transformational. So I've had $100 in question. And the other part of it is, when I was speaking to Mr. Jeffrey, who is here somewhere in the room, getting ready. When people hear that things like this are free, there's a perception of value that they bring into it. And these are years of experience put together. Some of the things you'll be hearing today will probably be new. Some of them you'll be hearing them differently in another dimension. It's years of experience put together for us to be able to help as many persons. This year, one of our fundamental goals at Abode is to be helping 1,000 Nigerians this year, 2023, to make their first millions and their first money from real estate. So when we see us take time like this for a program like this, it's an extension of that goal. And we're already doing that. And we know that education is one of the ways that which that can happen, by providing the right information for people to take action. So here's the caveat. I know that it's a free program. So while you're in the program, you can be using styles to make more, do some other things. The best way you maximize being it a free program, is that you take
Sorry, guys. I think Larry is having a little bit of network challenges. In Nigeria, you have to be ready for anything that can happen. And I know that, when you are looking at event like this, we're always setting up like 2-3 internet devices, because Nigeria can show you shege. So I know he will be back. Okay, he is. So we can just continue.
Apologies. I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what, but I clicked off my Wi-Fi myself. So sorry. So sorry. Okay, great. So, so to ensure that we get the best, thanks so much, guys. To ensure that we get the best of a gathering like this is about taking action. And I can see that there is desire there, to be very honest, that we'll have this number of people who have showed up. And I know many people who have personally sent me messages and say, I'm really keen on this, I'm really keen on this, I really want to get this. And we'll be able to do that. Hopefully we'll be able to do justice to it, but I know that we won't be able to do all, but we'll do a large portion of it. So yeah, let's get to it, guys, while we are here. So we're going to be speaking a lot of things about money today. So please don't feel carnal. Don't feel like we're not spiritual people. It's just the purpose of the conversation. So we'll be talking about a lot of money, figures, in a way. Then, maybe tomorrow we can ask for forgiveness.
Bring your head.
Okay. So let me create a small background into this. And it is this whole ideology of, I want to start from somewhere very integral, and for me, it's about poverty. And I noticed that there's a misconception. There are 3 layers of poverty. There is poverty, there is abject poverty, and there's extreme poverty. I think the poverty that we're mostly used to is the abject poverty. Abject poverty is when you cannot afford the basic things of life, and the people that surround you too cannot afford. Where you cannot, an individual cannot afford the basic things of life, and individuals that surround you too cannot afford. Why extreme poverty is when you cannot afford, those that surround you cannot afford, and the nation or your location also cannot help you out in any way. That is extreme poverty, where there are no hopes and there are no opportunities. And there is poverty. Poverty is when an individual cannot afford the basic things of life. So when we talk about these things in these layers, right, is that people forget that there's the poverty part, the abject poverty and extreme poverty. People forget that when we use that terminology, right, is a lot in terms of the fact that there are many things that you can take care of today. Many of us are already earning income. Earning income is just a sub-minimal subject for measuring that you're out of poverty. Because any money alone, okay, I can hear him clearly now. Okay, great. Earning alone is not a sufficient way of getting out of poverty. So there's possibility that you are earning $1 million every month, and there's possibility that you're earning 500,000 every month. There is a mind software that runs that you're earning. That even when you increase your earning capacity, because some of us strongly believe right now that it's about increasing earning capacity, that when you increase that earning capacity, that same mind will still drag you down. It's like giving your very nice, there's a white shirt you have been wearing for almost a year that's been very clean, and you now decide to give it to somebody who is not hygiene enough. It doesn't matter how expensive that shirt is. When you see that shirt in about 8 months or 1 year from now, you will see the mind of the person that is wearing that shirt in that shirt. So there is a mindset, that activation part of us when we're talking about poverty. So poverty is not only the first when there is no money or there is money with you, it's a state of mind. It's first a state of mind because irrespective of the money you have, irrespective of the money that you have, that software can keep on running it all the time, and we will not still see that money. And that's why you see people earn from their basic job or their business, maybe they're making an income of about 500 or 400, and they will still go on lending platforms to go and lend money. Or they will still need to beg somebody to be able to survive. It's because that mind gap is there. And because that same system is going to run this real estate thing I want to talk about today. Because real estate, from the conversation that we're going to be having today, is a means of generating income. But I've also seen that sometimes it's not only about generating the income, because there is this mind that irrespective of whatever is coming, that same mind will not allow you to take the opportunity, because the opportunity comes with real estate. We're going to talk a lot about that today. There's an opportunity part of real estate, and it is in that opportunity part of real estate that there is money. So it is first a state of mind. A state of mind that is the state of mind that anytime a particular amount of money enters inside of you, that state of mind reflects itself. It's a consuming mind, it's a consumption mind. It's a mind that is very hard for that mind to think of 2030 like it's tomorrow. It's a mind that is always thinking of next week, next month, at worst, next year. It is a department under that mind. So there is a mind that has been running your finances. That even today, if we're not even talking about real estate, if we talk about crypto, we talk about those things, you will have money, but that mind will still run. Because what we're trying to do in this community is to talk about financial freedom. That there will be a time that all the things that you have put energy and put your investment in, they will begin to take care of you, that they can meet the basic things of your life without you necessarily participating actively. And there's a mind that must run that thing. What I'm trying to do before I go into real estate food is to create a foundation, ladies and gentlemen. It is part of that mind that I've brought you into this place, to know that there's a desire to want to increase my livelihood and my income. It is that same mind that is not needed in all other spheres to make it a complete journey. You'll be surprised that I said that your reason for not maximizing real estate, because I'm not going to talk about the parameter of owning real estate, which I'm still going to get into. It's not only about owning real estate, which is going to get me to the first thing, that real estate can be owned as a means of wealth. We're going to be talking about that mostly today. So there is this cultural understanding that we used to have, being Africans, being Nigerians, that in those days we used to know owning of assets and real estate as a means of wealth acclamation, to show the level of wealth. And so that man has the land there, he has the land there, he has houses there. It helps us to evaluate the level of his wealthiness. So many of us have that cultural and background understanding, including myself, until I was, over time able to come in with new wine to replace that understanding. That there are assets and real estate assets that you will own right now, that the purpose of that is not for you to have something to write in your will. The purpose of those ones is not to have something to transfer to your children. The purpose of that one is because as a means of your livelihood, as a means of your income, that is what you can gain now in order for you to gain additional financial strength for you to get the next one. But to create the background so that it doesn't look like I don't have a structured way of going into this, we're talking about the mind that enables you to, one, see that opportunity, two, to know that you need that opportunity. So if I had come into this conversation today with the mind of, oh, I'm looking for, and real estate is an alternative for me to build wealth, you are correct. But there's a mind that was power, that understanding. And it is a mind that you can. It is a mind that irrespective of your level of income, you can. Because just like we're using real estate is being used as a vehicle of wealth. I know that it's not because you like real estate. Because when I started to, it was not because I'm not passionate about real estate. Like the way Dangote is not passionate about cement or sugar. So I'm not going to say I'm passionate. I'm only using it. Some persons might be passionate about it. There's nothing wrong about it. Please don't get me right. I'm only using it as a means, as a vehicle, as a car, as a train, as a jet for my journey to financial freedom, to creating wealth, transgenerational wealth, or creating wealth for myself first, even before it becomes transgenerational. So I know the purpose. So there's a mind that is running it. So why real estate? Because it could have been any gathering. Because you can bring in real estate gathering today, and next week they tell you that it is herbal drugs that can make money, or it is multi-level marketing, or it is crypto, or it is agriculture, or it is oil and gas. Any of these things, I say to you, is not about the fact that I'm in real estate, can be used as a vehicle, for wealth. But why real estate? Why are we talking about particular areas? Number one is the fact that is the proven data and proven way that we have used. So let me first put that biased caveat there. That's the first caveat, that it is proven. So this is years of testing, years of doing, and years of experiencing, not put together, and years of also helping others and handholding others, whether be it a copper, be it a married man, be it a 60-year-old pensioner, different categories of people, depending on the level of income, to have helped each of them at a different levels, at a different level of risk capital, and a different levels of income to go through the journey. I remember vividly that at my very early stage, those that I helped, when I've been okay by myself, the first set of people that I helped was a core member and one of my friends too, who was in tech business at that level. And we grew for the copper. We grew our real estate investment portfolio from 620,000 to 3.2 million. As at that time. So it is that we're going to be talking about today. And it's going to, I know we have a very vast audience today. I know peeps here who have been doing real estate investing, who they themselves can even come in here to become speakers and testify. And they're still here again. But I know I told them that it's going to be, and that's why myself and Mr. Jeffrey is taking it, that we'll be able to touch on every sphere. Whether your income is 50,000 or 20,000, how you can benefit and maximize and make your own version of your money from real estate. We'll discuss about everything today. So let's get on it. So why real estate? I've mentioned number one. Number two is that is a store of value, is a vehicle for wealth building. And for me, it's one of the most stable, proven, stable form, especially for those of us who are living in developed nations. Because the understanding about real estate is this: real estate is not a sector that is limited only to Nigeria. Because some people say everybody's not playing fire, everybody is a realtor, everybody is selling land. Yes, it is all proven under the Maslow hierarchy of need: food, clothing, shelter, security. Anywhere 2 or 3 people are gathered, you see these 4 sectors, these 4 industry, these 4 businesses, they will thrive because they are basically needed. Before I can think of going on Instagram this morning, I have slept and wake up under a roof. None of us slept on internet this morning. As I'm in this program now, some of us are either cooking our jollof rice for this morning, or we're already making bread and beans. It is food. So whether you're in a country of 2 million people, you're a country of 200 million people, or you're in a country of 1.2 billion people, food, clothing, shelter, security have businesses, have values that when you offer for it, you are going to be profitable. The advantage that we have in a country like ours is now that we now have the population. And that's how many food business do you know that they're in Lagos? Anybody that has that data that you can think of, say, this is the number of Buka, Buka, restaurant, roadside food, can say, this is the number I think, including those that don't have a CAC registration. How many? Just who can give a rough estimate in the chat and say, this is the number of food outfits where people go every day and they spend money to collect food every day. Let's not even look at only the restaurant, let's look at the local markets. That's exactly how it works. Real estate is not a sector that is limited to only, so because in a way we feel like it's a Nigerian thing. The only country or a nation where real estate will not thrive is only a nation that is at war. The only nation where real estate will not thrive is only a nation at work. And any businesses that has automatic demand, supply shortage is a good place for you to be. And that's what real estate is all about. It's also one of those things. Do you know how many people this week, when they cannot collect Naira, have gone hungry? Not because they don't have money in their account, but there is food. And we're demanding. People have bought food on credit. Some persons are meant to, fill the obligation of their rent last week, but they couldn't because of all this old Naira thing. That is to show you that this is 100,000 in Lagos alone. It'll probably be, and many of them don't even have CAC registration. You go to some places, you buy table water for 100 Naira, and you go to some places, you buy for 1,500. Same table water. So, sorry, please, am I audible now? I'm hearing that I can't hear you. I want to be sure that I'm audible. Because I'm getting that feedback. Okay, the last part of why real estate. Okay, great, thank you, sir. The last part of why real estate is that is an thank you, God bless you. I call it is an anti-inflation vehicle. Anti-inflation vehicle. Many people, and I've heard this, I also have to deal with a lot of them, and you would hear, the inflation in this country, I'm in the diaspora, sorry, some of my diaspora friends are here, I'm in the diaspora. Oh gosh, shall do quick with your papers before we know where your real status is. All this, you are in the diaspora, so that when you come back home, you have something to meet. Well, that's just a joke by the side. Okay, so when we're talking about that, is an anti-inflation. We're in a nation, there's no need to cajole or run around that the inflation level of the country is rising. But real estate is one of those vehicles that has the right real estate. So that we're going to be putting the caveat, because all these things have to be very open. The right real estate project can be and is always an anti-inflation project. Because if an inflation of a country rises to 50%, there's already a state of emergency. In a year, 50%, there's already a state of emergency. The entire economy has shut down. And real estate has the potential to do much more than that. Now, let us go into it. Making money for real estate 101. Number one, I've helped to clarify the fact that real estate can be a vehicle. For some of us here, I know people who want to have real estate for collection purposes. I want to know, I have in Abuja, I have in Lagos, I have in Accra, I have in Rwanda. They just want to collect for collecting purpose. And then maybe in the future, they will probably think of what to do with it. But I think the majority of our people here today who are like me, who are only collecting real estate projects as a means of saying, if I go with my 5 Naira, how possible can I make 8 Naira or 10 Naira within the next couple of months or within the next couple of years with this particular set of things that I'm looking at? So there are many people who are on that kind of stand here today. So how exactly is real estate 101 making money from real estate? Let me give a little bit of glimpse into the Nigerian real estate sector, so that you know what exactly you're getting into. For some of us who are already playing in it, for some of us who are new to it, and for some of us who just be hearing some new things into it. Number one, I've helped to establish the fact that it is not a lucrative industry that is limited to Nigeria. So maybe you're a Ghanaian here, you're someone from Sierra Leone, you're a Jamaican, you can go back to your country too and begin to look at the opportunities. The value chain in real estate, there are about 14 of them. There are about 14 value chain, from construction to vacant land, to estate management and property management, to documentation and appraisals, to architectural, the value chain. So you can play in any space of it. It is still the same. From rental management, property management, same thing, all in that line. Now, the sector has 200 million people on demand. 200 million people on demand. Remember that I told you at the beginning of this conversation that the higher the population, the more the potential of the market that we want to fulfill in. Somebody is saying, but I'm not starting a real estate company. Why am I attending to 200 people? We'll get there. I'm not saying you're starting a real estate company, but you're looking for how can I get a piece of it? Because the truth of the matter is that everybody that is listening to me, except for the people who are on the road, everybody is under a form of shelter or under a real estate facility at one point or the other. Anytime you enter a shopping mall, anytime you enter anything that has covering over its head, anytime you pass in front of a land, you are experiencing real estate and somebody is paying for it. That's what exactly I'm trying to let you know. That is the mind, that's the first mind, that every time you go, I hope you know that each time you see somebody hold an iPhone and you have a share or a stock of Hapo as a company, you should be excited. Every time you hear somebody say, oh, I'm no longer using Airtel, I'm no longer using Etisalat, I'm not using MTN, it should be an advantage towards you. That is the same thing that happens to real estate. Anytime you go, you enter into a shop, or you enter into a store, you enter into a place, or you enter in, that is, somebody is paying for that. Somebody has paid for that, and somebody will continue to pay for that. And we wanted to join part of those people that they are paying for. And that's why you see, you know, I'm trying not to shout. So it doesn't look like, because I don't want to get too passionate. So I'm controlling my temper. Anytime you, so now your highs, the highs that you used to be seeing real estate, should not only be when you're seeing them build a new house. Any space that you see, just look at it with choice and say, this is money. How can I get a part of this? It's one of the new things that you need to add as a tool into your system. And we're even saying that irrespective of somebody is looking at all this Ikoyi land that they are paying 300. Okay, for a while, you two don't look at Ikoyi, look back at Ilefe, Amudakeke, or Unewi. Because that's why sometimes we used to get it wrong. And say, where I want to build this house. I'm looking at, I know I will not do Banana Island. If I can do Mango Island, that is not far. You know? And because of that, it becomes an aspiration. Because you need to start your real estate journey fast, so that you can begin to understand how to position for the opportunity. I'm not going to talk about the opportunities. When Mr. Jeffrey talk about it, will come to me. I just want to create the background. So see real estate differently. Whenever I'm with a group of people, there are two things I used to look out for. Number one, I used to look out for real estate. Real estate is building space. I was recently telling my wife that I can show her how many vacant lands leads to our estate. I can show you, because she doesn't know. You know, many of you don't know. Once you see a building covering a place, you feel like everything behind is house. No. There are vacant land that somebody has just colored there. We'll talk about that. We also talk about how to look for projects that are ready for exit. There are some areas, wisdom. There are some areas that you begin to see the population is rising. And the kind of infrastructure that is there, the class of people that are coming into that area, they will not like those kind of buildings, because those buildings are 1999, early 2000 buildings, 1996, 1992, about 2004. They're already old. They use louvers. They use all those things. Those are the kind of houses that if you go there with cash, you'll be buying this stress. As in, but I don't want to go in. I want Mr. Jeffrey to come and talk about that, because he is going to be talking about the practicals. I'm only creating the background. As you sit down with the family members in the living room like this, and you open Ghana Must Go. Once they see the new notes, as a negotiation is instant, it's not that we are going back to all the including the family members that are not staying in Lagos. All of them will show up that same day, or they will come the next day. And you'll be making instant deal, because it's their father's house, or it's their grandfather's. You want to buy off because it's in a location. You have only been saying that they are using fine shop to cover it in the morning. As you are going out, they'll be looking out for those things. So they make a fine shop that the person has used cladding, but the house that is behind is a bungalow house of 1996. And it's on the main road. But Mr. Jeffrey will come to that. I don't want to come there. The first thing is that when you see real estate from that insight, you will begin to see opportunities. You will begin to see it as an opportunity, because I've helped you to establish the fact that anything you see people paying for and buying, that means that there is something there. You need to position to, even this is not only even in real estate. How you should be asking yourself, how do I also join parts? The transport sector in Lagos alone is said to be making an average of about 4.1 billion every month. And you're wondering how? It is the same way. You are entering transport too. You're 200, you're 1,000, you're 500 put together. In a city of almost 25 million people. Do the math yourself. What fraction of that money can you be earning? What fraction of it? And that's the same mind that comes, you know, I told you that it's about mind. It's the same mind that comes into real estate. So you're not just listening and say, they're already building a new house. Some person start building a new house in your area last week. 2 months after, another person start building. Something should be telling you that something is happening in this area. You should be able to see beyond. Is that mind? Let me prepare to wrap up so that I can allow Mr. Jeffrey to come in. Real estate opportunities, how to make the money. I'm emphasizing on the mind. I've spoken about it. I've spoken about how to see it around you as you go. The next thing you'll not be looking at is how do I make money from it for myself with what I have. I've also spoken about the different value chains in real estate. I've also spoken about it in a way, not as much, but I've spoken about it that it's not only even in building. It's not only in just owning a house and sitting. Some of us, if you have money today and you buy your first house, ladies and gentlemen, you might not have to stay in that house. Living in a rented apartment is not a sign of poverty. It's one of those cultural things that we've told ourselves that once somebody begins to live in his house, oh, he's a rich man. No. The rent you can be getting from your house can be paying for the rent that you're using in a shuttle apartment, especially when you now also leverage your mortgage, which we already have functioning now in this country. Because when we go, as soon as we go for housewarming, they have moved in. It might actually not be. But we'll also get into that. So how exactly do I make money from real estate? Having understand all these fundamentals. The first thing is to have your own plan. I'm great on plan. Many people will just come and say, tell me, I have this money. I'm thinking of getting them. Like, okay, what exactly is the plan? You must have a plan. Because know that I said at the beginning that real estate is a vehicle under your plan of attaining financial prosperity. It's not because you are passionate about real estate. So you must have an overall strategic plan, which real estate will not be used as a tool in achieving it. The first thing I want to establish is the fact that, I want that by the time I'm in 2025, I have an asset-based worth 100 or 200 million in Naira. I want to ensure that by when I get to this point, I want to ensure that my pension, the money that I'm keeping aside, I want to ensure that my health insurance is in place. I want to ensure that I have an emergency fund of 5 million, which is a money that I only touch when something great is about to happen. And all these things that I'm talking about, you can do it at any level. It is a mind. And that's one of the things that we're teaching in finance in the Abode Wealth community. With your 50,000 naira, you can have an emergency fund. If you're in this kind of conversation today and your entire salary is still on the 10, your entire salary has gone and say it's not because it's not enough. There's a problem. If you cannot pay tithes from your 10,000 naira salary, you can't pay from your 1 million naira salary. You don't have that discipline. So coming back into it, you must first have a plan. It is the kind of plan that you have that would all the things I'm suggesting going to be talking about in practicals. That is the engine that will engineer or that will be the channel to what of these tools, all these practices I share, which of them is most important for me. For example, I know of one of my young guys. I hope he's in this meeting. He's not young anymore. He has a kid, he has a wife, so he's not young. A friend of his left him with 6 million for 8 months. He said he should help him to keep 6 million. Maybe they did it based on trust, or I didn't know, but he came to me and like, have you asked this guy very well that, because you're not going to keep this money for 6 months, because even you don't trust yourself. There's a way that when you have 6 million, everything just be looking very attractive to you. So he decided to do investing, real estate investing. That's the only thing he just did. He made about 22.5% on somebody else's money. The reason why he took that approach, he took something that was going to be in 6 months or in 5 months that helped him to reduce his risk, because he did something that was risk-free or less risky. He was very sure, which Mr. Jeffrey will also talk about. How do you do a riskless real estate investing? Because let me tell you another caveat, very small. One of the advantages of a good real estate is that the worst it will do is that it will break even. Yes. Any real estate that is depreciating in value is not the real deal. But Mr. Jeffrey will talk about that. So I'm closing just in 2 minutes. Now, to end up this, your strategy, your financial strategy is what will give birth to what real estate approach of making money do you want to approach. So you must first have that plan. So if you don't have that plan, maybe you want to write it down. If you're writing, I know some of us are writing, that I need to have an overall financial plan. So that this investment or this journey of real estate or this making money from real estate, I'll be using it as one of the strategies for the plan that I want to meet and the objectives that I want to arrive at. So you must first have a plan. So when people come and say, oh, I have this, I'll begin to ask the question, what is the plan? What exactly do you want to achieve? Is it a long term? Is it a short term? What kind of money is it? Is it money that is coming small, or is it money that has come bulk? Is it money that is coming, for example, some of us, maybe, you got at end of the year bonus of about 2 million. You're not going to put yourself into a real estate of 4 million. And you know that your monthly income cannot even cover 10% of that money. And you say, well, I will finish it in 6 months' time. And we are leveraging on bonus. It means that your plan, you didn't have a well concrete plan. Some of you want to have this thing to transfer to your next generation. There's nothing wrong about that. So you need to be able to know and say, okay, it is my plan that is giving birth to the action that I'm taking with real estate. Because sometimes when expectation is not met, people now come back and say, it did not work. You must have clear expectations, which is coming from your clear plan, financial plan. Real estate is being used as a vehicle to make the money to fuel that plan. So the approach you will use or the opportunity that you will take advantage of is based on a plan that you have. I know people who are into building projects right now. They are building their dream house, but they are fueling it with the money that is coming from another real estate project that they did by the side to fuel that. All these things will come from your plan. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to drive out any further in creating this foundation, but this foundation is important, or else you will only hear this thing. And the ability for you to implement them will be hard if we don't create this foundation. The mind, very important. The lucrativeness of the real estate industry, we've spoken about that. How to have a financial plan, overall financial plan that real estate will want to help you from. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome the man that made me my first money in real estate, my second money, my third money, my fourth money, all the real estate money I've been making. Is the man that has a high insight. He has APIs, algorithm, artificial intelligence, and upgraded machine learning on how to identify, maximize, and optimize real estate deal. Mr. Jeffrey Itepu.
That's very, it was a very strange eulogy. Oh, thank you, Damilare. Yeah, I don't know if you can just share some excitement in the comment section. That was very, very apt from Damilare, and, it's extremely apt. If you check my slide that I prepared, you see that he has already entered into my, when you are loaded, you don't know when you begin to enter into Mr. Damilare has been a wonderful person and, did a great job, has helped thousands of Nigerians, both Nigeria and diaspora to, increase wealth through real estate. I remember in 2019, from 2019 to about 2021, his products in his former company when he was leading as CEO was able to reach out to 5,000 Nigerians across the world, I think about 21 countries or so, and help them to build wealth sustainably with zero default rate. So he has the pedigree in the industry, and he's someone that is trusted by lots of Nigerians, both here and abroad. Even he almost did a deal. I mean, he did a deal with a Lebanese man one time like this. So he's your go-to guy when it comes to things like that. So quickly, so we could make significant progress. The purpose of this webinar is to teach people a lot of things when it comes to real estate. One of the greatest challenges is that a lot of people think that they are not poor. A lot of people think that they are not poor, and that's a very, very strange, place to be. Because, and as Damilare mentioned, poverty for them, it feels that okay, they are making money. You are making 150K per month. You are making 200K per month. You are making 1.5 million. You are rich. No, you are not rich. You just have cash, and cash can sustain you. It's just like somebody that is out of. He doesn't have a great respiratory system, but goes around with a gas tank. You go around with the gas tank, you put it. The gas tank always needs to be refueled. And if you get out of a service station, you will die because the gas tank will finish. If you are stranded, maybe you for instance, the city hurricane in Turkey, if you are stranded and the service station is not active, you will die. So most people are so poor, all they have is cash. So you are making 1.5 million, you're a big boy, making 500K, you are just chilling, you understand? Yeah, it doesn't mean because you have that lot of cash doesn't mean that you're rich. It doesn't mean that you're wealthy. It just means that you have enough cash. You can fund, your lifestyle that you created. But the best thing, instead of buying or using an add-on respiratory system, is actually to fix the original respiratory system, so you can continuously breathe in and breathe out air, breathe in oxygen, and push out carbon dioxide. So your body system, your blood and everything is working optimally. So that is a better place to be. So some people earn 200,000 naira monthly and are richer than some people that earn 1 million naira monthly. That I know you sounds very, very strange. So, but I'm not here. I think in the last session, last month webinar, we talked about financial freedom. And we went through all the stages, from borrowing to spending to saving to investing to giving. So maybe we want to refer to that. Today we're going to be talking about real estate, because the objective here is to help a lot of people. Actively, we've been doing this since 2018. In terms of the education, has been very, very active since 2018, and I've seen a lot of people, make significant progress in the industry. And we felt that with Abode, one of the major things that we need to invest in is education. So, and that's what works. So today I'm just going to take you through a few thoughts and make you understand how to make the best real estate decision, and share some secrets that from the over 10 years experience in the business. And yeah, we are young, but we have lots of experience. You can check our journey out, in the real estate sector. I've played in all parts. Same thing with Damlari. I've played as a staff, that's an employee of a real estate brand. I've played as owner of real estate. I've played as investor. I played as administrator. So I've played in multiple. I've played as financier. So I've played in multiple aspects of the food chain. I've even done, I've played as a coach. Let me use the word Omonile, but the state of Omonile is state of, having a large parcel of land and selling it to other people who sell it to other persons. So I've played, by God's grace, across all the value chains of real estate. And so the information we're sharing is something that, we do not usually want to share to the public, because that is where our wealth, there's a certain level of wealth, they call it a trade secret. But, if we really want to take Africa to the next level, we cannot be hiding information. We can't hide information. And because if you think you are the richest man in your area, one day the poor people will be so pushed to the wall that all they will have to eat is you. So it's better that you share the information. Everybody builds prosperity, because the truth of the matter is that if your brother becomes rich, becoming rich is not taken out of your own money. So you see a candle lighting on that candle, the fire, or if a candle is lighted and 1,000 candles are unlighted, if that first candle gives the other candle light, the light on this candle does not diminish, because whether you like it or not, your candle it will go down. So you distributing your fire to other candles does not in any way affect yours. So that's the mentality that in Africa we have, that if I give this guy a certain level of light, the guy will take out of what I'm supposed to take. No, that's a wrong way. That's why Africa is continuously in a less developed state. So what we need to do is to share the light, so more people can make the right decision, do the right things. Everyone builds sustainable wealth. We're building a stronger economy for the African continent, because there's statistics that says that in 2015, that the population of youth in Africa will be twice the entire population of Europe. And so if you see what the Asian tigers have done in the last 10 years, Africa is coming to that state of what the Asian tigers came to in terms of population explosion, in terms of educational level of citizens, active citizens, in terms of financial inclusion and all those things. So if Africa would take charge of the entire world system, Africa will become a global power. So the potentials are there in terms of, rising level of education, rising level of population, which is the most critical, and the population is active population. So we are beginning to have all the parameters that leads to a world economic power. So the only thing that is missing is the information sharing from the top to the bottom, so everyone can have power, because per capita income is distributed across the number of people we have in a country. So if I have 1 billion and you have 1 naira, if we are doing per capita income, you will add my 1 billion to your 1 naira and divide it by 2. They now know the per capita income of everybody of the nation. I don't know if you get. So it's better if I have 1 billion, you have 1 naira. Let me increase you from 1 naira to 100K. So when I'm adding my 1 billion to your 100K, per capita income increases. I don't know if you get the old concept. So that's, from macroeconomics point of view, but that's not the reason why we're here. So quickly, we want to go into, some real estate conversation. And I believe that, you guys are going to have a lot of questions. And I'm going to also share how, at Abode, we are really, really, democratizing it. So quick thought, what is financial freedom? Adam already talked about it, so I'll not bore you guys, but I just want to bring out the definition. This definition really transformed my entire life. This definition transformed my entire life. And its financial freedom is having enough residual income to cover for your living expenses. So I thought we say, even if you want to be financially free, you have to have a lot of money, billions. That's not it. So it's about having enough residual income that will help you to cover your living expenses. It's not about being rich or having tons of money, but having enough to cover your expenses so you can spend time, your precious time, doing what you love rather than just things to earn money. Some people, all they have to do is that they have to keep working to sustain that they will get money. If you're in that state, you are not rich. You are still you are in a financial struggle state. You are in, some people say, oh, I have multiple streams of income. So most of us have multiple streams of struggle, not multiple streams of income. Because, you work here, you do this, you'll be worn out. You don't have time for family, you don't have time for friends, they'll be talking about movie, you can't even talk about movie. They'll be talking about going for church service, talking about investing their time in maybe reading the Bible, reading their religious book or something. You can't have conversations like that because you are poor. All you do is that you are making a lot of money, you are working here and there. There was a story of a man, that makes a lot of money. I think he makes a crazy ton of money every single month. And he didn't even have time for his family. So family time was zero. And he thinks he's rich. You are not rich. It's better for you to make a lesser amount of money and have time for a lot of things. I know that it begins to touch some people that, what is this guy saying? But see, money is not everything. So having enough residual income, you must be able to build a certain system around yourself that can produce wealth without you physically being involved in that activity. That is what residual income means. You are not physical, you have created a system that can continuously produce you wealth without you participating in that process. So if you need to physically be in the activity of that wealth creation, then you are not rich yet. You are not rich yet. You are not rich yet. If you cannot sleep, or if you cannot go without working, or without active work, that you are on the street doing everything, we call it hustle. If you are not on that hustle mode, you can't make money. You are poor. That's just about it. So being rich is not about, or being financially free is not about having lots of money. It's not about having lots of money. It's about having enough money, enough residual income to cover your living expenses. So I'll just jump out of that immediately. So quick thoughts I want you guys to quickly know about real estate. Nigerian real estate industry has grown. Now, the total value is around 13.65 billion. It's been growing steadily. Right now, $13.65 billion as of 2021. So I know that much more data will come from 2020 and 2022, 2023. But as of 2021, this how much he was so far. And you know, Lagos is most expensive city in Nigeria, and it's one of the top most expensive city in the world in real estate. You know, somebody would just come to Lagos and want to rent an apartment, one small square foot. They'll be saying, if you come and pay 200,000, 1 million. It's a very, very strange situation, you know, when it comes to that's first thought. I want to rush through it so we have time for much more interaction, because this session is supposed to end by 11:30. So we want to ensure that we keep to time. So if you have questions, begin to drop your question in the comment section that I'll take. So the most popular type of the most popular type of real estate, especially in Nigeria, are residential properties, apartment, because you know the housing deficit in Nigeria is in excess of 20 million. So for us to be able to provide adequate shelter, this is not even accounting for explosion in population by 2050. So this is just looking at, you know, a arithmetic progression in, or an arithmetic growth in population increase. We're not even looking at it from a geometric growth in the next few years. And, you know, we have lots of real estate companies in Nigeria today. The reason why real estate will continue, or real estate companies can start today and still prosper, is because the demand is more than we can supply. It's more than how real estate company can supply. So if a new real estate company starts today, the real estate company has the tendency to succeed if you have the right strategy. So there's high demand. Every single person here, you know, have a need for real estate one way or the other. And, you know, in real estate also, you have rental yields around 6%. Some places, especially in Lagos, you can have as high as 12% per annum in terms of rental yields from, you know, investing. So another final thoughts that I want us to really understand. I do a lot of time here, and, you know, we begin to go into the main thoughts for today, that real estate typically, so many of us, when we talk about real estate, just think of, oh, land. Oh, real estate is land, anything above and anything below it. Land, anything above. The strength is about your airspace is a real estate. Airspace is real estate. So some of us say, oh, it's just the land of one small brownish thing on the ground, clay and something. No, the real estate is all encompassing, everything above it and everything below it. I can't remember the person, you know, that went to, he's in America, but I think it was John D. Rockefeller or somebody bought a land, and, you know, they discovered oil there, and it started Standard Oil. So everything above, everything below, even though there are rules, especially rules from the government that, you know, now decide every other thing that happens around things below the earth. But real estate is the land, everything upon it. That's if you put a construction upon it, or everything above it, the airspace, that airspace is yours. So that's why if you see in recent time in the US, you see that they've been shooting down certain elements that have come into their airspace, because that is their land. That is their land. That is their land. When you come into the airspace of a nation, you are already trespassing. You are already trespassing. You are coming into the airspace of a nation unsolicited. You are trespassing. So that is also part of real estate. So most of the time, we just think of that brown guy on the ground. So it's much more beyond that. And if you look through the years, there have been 4 major economic systems, economic revolutions that have been built over the last, you know, 1,000 years. And you see, you know, we started with the agrarian economy, where people were mostly, you know, farmers, you know, they have farmland. So wealth was categorized, and the extent of your farmland and the extent of the slaves that you have to be able to, you know, do. So the more farmlands you have or you can acquire, the more, you know, rich you were. Then we started going into the next stage, which came to the Industrial Revolution, whereby the farming guys needed equipment, because slave trade had begun to go down. So they needed equipment to be able to, you know, still keep up with the production level. And, you know, new innovation came for steel, construction, and a lot of other things. So the Industrial Revolution went boom. And that's why you see people like Tom Scott, people like Andrew Carnegie, you know, building the rail line, people like, what's the name of this other guy? I can't remember his name. Also got Tom Scott, Andrew Carnegie. You see, Vanderbilt. Is it Oliver Vanderbilt? You know, all those guys came around, then built leverage on the rise of the Industrial Revolution, building steel companies, mining companies, all those stuff. And, you know, we move from there to the information age, whereby knowledge is like the core thing. People are selling knowledge, you know, information. Then the rise of the internet, you know, began to come up during the information regime. Then now we are much more into the technological economic system. That's what is running the world right now. And, you know, but one of the major things is that all this economic system, from the first to the last, even the more this thing we are, the more we go into any economic system, we leverage on real estate. So there's no how much digital you want to be that you don't need real estate. Because even if you say you want to go offline, you say, okay, you want to order something online. What is digital? The goods must be stored in a located area that must need to be moved. It must have a warehouse. No matter how, you know, digital want to go, there's always a real estate support at the back end. And another thing is that real estate has also survived all these things. So Damla has mentioned that there are multiple ways that you can build wealth, but for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to be showing you the superiority of real estate and how you can leverage on it, no matter how little you have. And we can understand that real estate has survived all this economy. Check Google, check even churches, check giant tech companies. They have massive real estate assets, because some of them, you know, they tech outside, but there's somewhere that they put their servers, they are mining things, you know, you say Bitcoin mining, all those stuff. People have physical location, bunkers, different places that they use, you know, as the back end, because technology is the enabler. Technology is not easy. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm a tech founder. Now you make a mistake thinking that the business is technology. There's a back end to the business. So, oh, I have a prop tech company. The technology will not build the house. The technology will not manage the land. The technology will not do fencing. The technology gives you access, you know, to a lot of things. So I want us to just understand that real estate has survived all this thing, because real estate is in need. Even before all this economic revolution, in time past, people were fighting for land. And the greater a nation is to the extent of the land mass that it controls. So land has remained, you know, relevant all through this revolution. So that gives us a sense that throughout an economic system, throughout wealth creation programs, some things are static. Demand and supply is static, no matter the economic system that is being built. There's no economic system that we ride solely on supply. If there's no demand, it's not complete. And there's no that we ride. So there are certain principles that are constant across economic systems. And there are certain principles that are flexible. Flexibility comes from the channel of distribution. Flexibility comes from there. Flexibility comes from feedback channels. Flexibility comes from multiple loops that you can do, but they are constant across economic system. And real estate has remained the most constant across, and not just constant, the most viable, because it's remained the most sustainable way to store and multiply value. Store and multiply value, most sustainable way to store and multiply wealth. So real estate has, you know, proven over time to be this. And that's why, you know, there's no how, if you check the back end of all the industries that are leading our pharmaceutical, you know, the food and beverage industry, you know, the technology giant, go and check all of them. They have massive real estate base. If we check the Apple, you know, headquarters, you see how large it is. Check Microsoft, check what's the name of the Amazon. Everywhere they're building, acquiring lands, doing a lot of massive projects. Even government, you see, why is government fighting people, collecting land from people? Why is government fighting against people for taking their land? Government has had land since, you know, donkey years. And, you know, they'll just leave the land there and somebody will just go there, they start to fight. It shows how valuable it is over over the years. So I want you guys to just, understand all these quick thoughts. We don't want to bore you with a lot of information. That's why we have the Abode Wealth community, whereby every day we drop nuggets, we share things, we have conversations with people, people with ideas, bring it there, people with insight. A few weeks ago, somebody dropped a video of how a woman bought a land for 1.5 million naira over 25 years ago, and today the land is selling for 90 million naira. It was a life testimony. So it's a community where we talk about wealth. It's an accountability community for wealth creation. So if you truly want and desire to be accountable, you want to be, because see, you can't survive in isolation. You can't survive in isolation, and you can't be disciplined in isolation. You can't say, oh, I want to be disciplined, and yourself is your accountability partner. Your chances to fail are higher. So we created the community. That's the Abode Wealth community. I know that some of you are there. If you are not there, please just go to the chat room and say you're not there. I know that they will send a link to you to join. It's a WhatsApp community, and it's an interactive community. If you are not going to be interactive in that community, please, we need you to leave. It's not a cage. We are only focused on people who want to sustainably grow well. So we're going to be talking about different conversations. This month we're talking about real estate. Next month we're talking about insurance. Another month we'll talk about different things, retirement saving. There are a lot of things that are eating. That's why the rich get richer. The reason why the rich get richer is not because the rich are smarter. It's because the rich have access to information that have been blocked from everyone. So the rich have access to information being blocked from everyone, so they can maximize that information and be richer. That's the sense. So the rich get richer and the poor remain poorer if access to information that is not general. So, and we have thought it wise to create a community to democratize that information so more people have access to this information. Okay, so I think we should just proceed so we can make progress. So Damilare did justice to this. I'll just route through it, and I'll take my final slide then before sharing a few opportunities with you guys. So for you to make a profitable real estate decision, these are the 5 parameters that have been proven and trusted over 10 years in this industry. I've used it, I've helped people to use it, I've taught people to use it, and it has been significant profit. So the first thing is always objective. Damilare talked about it. He called it a plan. So objective. Now you need to know why you want to go into real estate. So there are 3 categories from all my survey. I've been able to, by God's grace, I've worked with nothing less than 25,000, customers in the real estate space. By the special grace of God, over 25,000 customers, from buying land, from doing investment, building, construction, JV, sublease, different, name it. So I've seen and I've been able to, now this is my model, I built it by God's grace, there are 3 basic reasons that people come into real estate. 3 basic reasons, 3 basic objectives. So you must find your place in these 3 objectives. Or if you can propound a new one, feel free. But this is what I've learned from over 25,000, customers over 10 years in this industry, is that there are 3 ones. The first one, that people buy real estate to build immediately. So they buy real estate for their own personal purpose. So they want to, put shelter, achieve the Maslow hierarchy of need of shelter. So, and if in Africa, you must have gotten to a certain level of financial stability for you to get to that. So not everybody thinks about building a house. So, I think I want to build a house, let's go there. So we'll stop paying rent. It's a self-actualization mentality. So let's have a house. There's a way in our father's generation, our grandfather's generation, it was a sign of wealth. It's a show of wealth. In previous generation, number of children was a show of wealth. But in the last 50, 60 years, people were using, Shotinile, do you have a house? I have a house in this place. I'm building this stuff for my children. That has been the sign. But now children are traveling abroad. They are no more interested in the house. But first reason, buy to build immediately. They buy, I want to buy this out. And most likely, when you choose this objective, it impacts on the decision you will make. Some people, their objective is to buy and build immediately, but they went to buy land in an undeveloped area. So there are 3 categories of real estate. You guys just flow with me. There's an undeveloped property. There's underdeveloping, there's developing, and there's developed. Underdeveloping, I will add it to these three thoughts that I'm explaining. Okay, let me just go first so I'll not confuse you guys. So the first one is buy to build immediately. In that category, what you are looking out for is a developed property, or in some cases, developing property. Buy to build immediately. So people are already living around, you can have access to groceries, you can have access to a lot of things. So you just look at that location and make that decision. The next category or objective is to buy to build later. So you just say, okay, I'm going to buy in a few years. So like for some of us, we pay school fees in dollars, we pay school fees in pounds, and we buy foreign currency to use later. So if I want to pay a fee in April, because right now there's been even though the increase the rate has increased has reduced drastically, but it's still increasing by 1 naira, 2 naira over a period of time, 5 naira in 2 months and a lot in recent times. So what we do is that when we pay, because we want to pay in April, what we do is that we already buy maybe pounds this month and keep it. So when we are paying in April, we are paying at the same rate that we will have spent in previous time, not spending a higher money. So that's the also sense of buying to build later when it comes to real estate. You feel that, okay, let me don't chill. I want to build in 2 years time. I want to build in 5 years time. It's smart for me to buy the real estate now because it's going to be more expensive then I just buy. And so most of the time when you are buying to build later, the best thing to do is, if you are very, very rich, you can buy in a developed area. But if you are upcoming, you are not that super rich. When I talk about developed area, I'm talking about properties, from say 25 million and above, or let me even come a little bit down, say 10 million and above, even though 10 million is not equal fully developed, but you get the drill. So buy and build so you can do much more of the developing area. Then the final one is people that buy for investment purpose. So you're not buying for, say you want to be, you are not even sure. So in this case, you are not entirely sure what the need will be, but you just know that real estate is a good thing to have. So you just buy for investment purpose and just chill. So after maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you can make your decision whether to sell or whether to build on it for commercial purposes or whether to build on it to live. So in this last category, the best thing for you to do is to jump into undeveloped areas and chill for a period of time and make your decision much later. So most people fall within these three categories. You buy to build immediately, you buy to build later, or you buy for investment purposes. And buy for investment purposes on that developed area most of the time, except when you have significant cash. I'm going to talk about that, in my next slide. Except you have significant cash, because if you have more cash and low cash, you can play in any of these areas. But if you have low cash, you are restricted from some playing. You are restricted from some playing, but you can play. You understand? So if I look at that, then the next thing is to decide what the budget is. Some people, when they are looking for real estate, they think they are buying bread and say, oh, I'm looking for a house in Ikoyi for 50 million. I'm looking for a house for Ikoyi for 50. They will scam you by the special grace of God. Or you say, oh, I remember in my master's class a few years back, somebody said, oh, that they sold the land to his brother abroad, and the brother spoke to them that he needs a land that is not far from Magodo. For 1.52 million. Just imagine, I need a land that is not far from Magodo for 1.5 million, 2 million. And the guy said, okay, we have a land. It's not far from Magodo. You can buy it for 2.5 million. He said, wow, that's how the guy paid money. Then came to Nigeria and said they should go to the site. That's how when they went to the site, they took him to Mowe. Yes, and they say if there's no traffic, Mowe to Magodo is like 15-20 minutes. So it's not far from Magodo. So a lot of people just say, oh, I think I need a property in Lekki Phase 1. My budget is around 15 million. They will scam you by the special grace of God, because they will take you to invest in Lekki Phase 1. So it's the same Lekki. So the budget is critical. So your budget will guide your decision. So you have made your objective. You have decided that, okay, this is my objective. I want to buy to build later. I want to buy to build now. I want to buy for investment purpose. Then now decide how much do I want to spend. So this budget encompasses how much I have right now and how much I can gather over a period of time, because payment plans are also allowed. And the thing is that the best thing to do when it comes to real estate is to get in early. I'm going to share some secrets in the next slide. So decide your budget. Don't say, oh, my budget is open. You will not get the best. You must be narrow. So my objective is this. This is my budget. And it will help anybody that wants to be able to search, and it help professionals like us to make the best recommendation to you. I've helped, so one of my friends, he had 500K. I think that was like 4 years ago or so, and he was asking that, Jeff, what's up, that he wants a property. I asked him all this subject. He said that he's not sure that he wants to live there, but he will most likely sell it. I said, okay, bring your 500K. We went to a place in Ekpe. That's almost 4 years ago, close to Ekpe. And we bought the property there. Even though the guy went there, we didn't even like this. I said, don't worry, just calm down. After about 18 to 18 months, then the Ekpe boom started, bam. So he was not patient. He wanted to exit, and we sold that land that we bought at 500,000. We sold it for 1.5 million. But because it was not patient, 500K, we sold it for 1.5 billion. So your budget determines where you go to and your purpose. That's the objective. So the third thing is location. But location is not, there are some inputs, there are some variable parameters, and there are constant parameters when you do a lot of things. Now, location is a constant parameter. So your objective and your budget sometimes does not respect the location. The location does not respect your objective and budget. The location is the location. You can't say, oh, I'm looking for a house for 25 million, a 4-bedroom duplex for 25 million in Ikeja. You can't find, they will scam you by the special grace of God. You can't find such, except somebody comes at distress. So which is something that we're going to talk. So in the general market, you can't find that. In the general market, you cannot find that. So another thing you need to know to decide the best real estate, after you have done your objective, you have done your budget, you have done, okay, maybe thought of a possible location. And the location has to be, a wide range. Okay, in Bejuleki or in Lagos mainland, in Badagry area, in this, you must have those things in your mind. Then another thing which is critical is the seller. Some people are just jumping on price. You jump on price. Seller is critical. What's the credibility of the seller? The real estate is an interesting business because things go wrong. Yeah, things go wrong, but things do not go wrong for some set of people. You need to have experience in the industry. Deals that we bust to a degree of 99%, if possible. Deals that we bust. Some people, I did some deals in time past, and one deal was court judgment and that deal was CFO. And I was telling the guys that it's better for you to go for this court judgment. But Nigerians, they say, oh, CFO, I want CFO land, I want CFO land. CFO land does not mean that the land cannot be collected back from you. So we have checked the intricacies of the deal, and we know that this CFO has the possibility of being revoked based on certain parameters that you have seen. So some people say, oh, the CFO, that's all. No, there are prerequisites that led to that CFO. So some property that has gone from gazette to even court judgment to different things, then eventually CFO. So a lot of us don't know that this property has CFO, and you just zero your mind, think that that's the safest thing on earth. No. That's not. So, and the court judgment property did better than the CFO property. It's strange, but those are insider things. Now, so you need to know the seller. You need to know the seller. You don't just go to somebody that is in it for business. Oh, I want to make cash out, Real estate is a lucrative business, so developers cash out. So you need to be sure that, okay, this person is not just into this because he wants to make money. Everybody is making money. By God's grace, I make lots of money from real estate, from all the categories I play as, and much more from an investor point of view. So, but, a lot of people just, do it for cash out and the rest. If the chips are down, who will stay with you? We'll stay back with you. That's very, very critical. That's not the purpose for today's conversation, but the seller is critical in making your decision. So don't just jump anywhere. Stay with somebody that will stick with you all through the way. Then the exit strategy. You must have an exit strategy. So I've learned that a lot of people just stay, land in Ibejuleki is fine. There's people are buying in Ekpe, let's go. They just go, bam. No exit strategy. Even though, if you find yourself in a great deal, that you got a good deal, exit strategy will automatically come. But if you find yourself in a deal that is not as great as supposedly should be, the exit strategy can get you stranded. So you must have an exit strategy. How do you want to exit this property? You must have it, an exit strategy. So maybe sometime in the community we'll talk about it. So I want to wrap up right now. So finally, 2 categories in real estate. There's the general category and the exclusive category. So everybody makes money from real estate, but everybody do not make money up to everybody. So people come to the market, you buy a real estate product and you are happy. The truth of the matter is that somebody is making more money than you. Somebody is making more money than you. So there are deals that are not outside that a lot of us do not know about. There are deals not outside that a lot of us do not know about. So for instance, if you go out and see people are selling properties different places, you can go and buy a real estate property. Yes, it's good. It will grow over a period of time. But growth rates always differ. And for people like us that have mastered the industry, by God's grace, many of the developers, a large chunk of developers, especially in Lagos, most especially Lagos, Ibadan, we have a few guys in Port Harcourt and Abuja. So by God's grace, not to make any boast or anything, they learned through us in a way. And I'm going to say, because the people that taught us real estate, Dr. Lumide Emmanuel is our grandfather. So all the people he trained used us, through us, trained most of these other guys that have started real estate companies today. Yeah, by special grace. So it's not to boast or anything. It's just an election of grace because we are young. We are able to still achieve that feat. So because of that, there are certain privileges that we have access to, and that's our competitive advantage in this industry. No one gets deals as best as us. I can tell you for free. And the reason is that not everybody, you are going to a property. So a property is great. You see a land in Abode, land selling for 5 million. I will get that same land for 2.5. So you are in the general market, I'm in the exclusive market, because I understand how it is. I know how deals goes with family. I know a lot of things. I can, a real estate company wants to go. Let me start with that one first. So you buy for 5M in the outside market. I buy for 3 million, 3.5. As in, I get better deals. The land will definitely increase from 5 million, say for instance, increase to 10 million in 2 years' time. Mine also increased to 10 million in 2 years' time. When we both sell, you will be happy. You have made 100%, even though you have cost to it because marketing and a few things. But me too, I've made more than 100% because I bought at 3.5 and I'm selling at the same 10 million you are selling it. I don't know if you understand. So it happens like that. We have internal deals. We go in, get better deals based on certain, which the person outside will not be able to. So the best thing you can do is ask for payment plan. Now I'll get it outright. If possible, I can even add payment plan to it. So there are 2 markets in real estate. They say everybody makes money, but the exclusive market make money than the general market. So most of you here, you are aware of the general market. What we are doing here is to invite you to the exclusive. So for sometimes, going to a real estate project, we can go at the early stage. So there's a property that we did last year. The company was just going into the project and needed cash, because real estate companies always need cash when they want to do a lot of things. So, and we approached them and said, okay, guys, you need cash. What can we do? Okay, we have this amount of money. Startup selling price for them, was around, say, 6 million or so. I say, okay, guys, well, let's come in for you guys. You guys need cash to do these things. You need to, fill, you need to clear, you need to do all these things. Okay, take this amount of money, give us X number of plots. And they are in need of cash. They will take it and they'll give us X amount of plot. So in October, late October 2020, 2022, so went into the deal, and equivalent, we paid 3.5 million naira per each of the plots. And they did the development to launch to sell, and right now the property is selling for 10 million. Think about it. So, and it's by looking at it and say, okay, this property in this state can do this. This guys needs money. They have the strength to build and do a lot of things. Okay, let's go into the deal with them. Now, don't say they're high risk deal. I'm not going to lie to you. They're high risk deal because many things can happen. And when I mean many things can happen, it's appreciation rate. So I have from 3.5 in 6 months.
3.5 launch price, and people are already taking it off, because the way you can validate a price of an asset, especially real estate, is when people are selling it at that price easily. You can't say, oh, my land is now 15 million. It's a lie. How many people can sell that land 15 million in that area? That's how you validate your land is 15 million. I don't know if you understand me. So right now, the property is selling for 10 million. There's another project now we looked at. Oh, you guys need money. And that's what we do. That's I mean, we are sharing our secrets, you know. That's what we do. Oh, you guys need money for this thing. We can go into it. We're going to give you X amount of money. We're going to get the Caterpillar to come to this site. The Caterpillar, you have 20 acres. The Caterpillar will clear the 20 acres. We'll fund it, the entire clearing. And after we clear it for you, you can do anything you want to do. Give us 2 acres out of it. If we spend 10 million and get a 2-acre property that, you know, we can begin to sell after a few years for, and in total we can raise 30 million from a 10 million investment. You know, that's exclusive market. So exclusive market is divided into different categories. The least exclusive market is going into a conversation with a developer and say, guys, give me this. The outside people are buying at this. I want it at this. That's the first level, but there are deeper levels. So there are levels of risk. So the higher the risk, some deals can go bust in reality. But the deals that the money that you will have made in other deals, it's just like being an investor, a venture capitalist. The money that you made for one deal can be times 1,000 of the money you lost on maybe 5 other deals, for instance. Even though, you know, it's very, very rare because of our expertise in the industry, we rarely lose deals. By God's grace, it's 10 years of this industry, and I think we have had over 95% success rate when it comes to projects. 95% success rate, and integrity is critical. So you understand how it is. So there's the general market. Many people play in the general market. You will make money, but you can't be. So somebody will wait for 2 years to achieve capital appreciation of maybe 50%. My own capital appreciation of 50% can be in 2 months, because I'm coming in early, I'm doing the right negotiation, and I'm getting the better deals. So I would have loved to spend more time in this, but we are far pressed for time, and this is so we, you know. So what we now did in Abode, because a lot of people also do not now have capacity to, you know, do a lot of deals. So this I'm done. So we'll better start your questions, but let me just quickly talk about, you know, what we do in Abode. So what we now decide, because myself and Damilare, after looking at the entire real estate industry, we decided to start Abode, which is a technology company. It's a prop tech company that allows people to be able to invest in real estate in a simplified format anywhere you are in the world. All those say, oh, I gave my family, my brother money to buy land here, I did this or this, or it has ended. Because with technology, you can fund a project, you can monitor it, you can do a lot of things. So we're building a community. Right now, I know that we have over 1,300 members, not the wealth community, now the investing community. So there's the wealth community, there's the investing community, which, you know, you sign up on the web app, our Abode app. You can speak to the person that invited you for this event. They'll send you a link to register on the platform. You can have access to the entire dashboard of the assets that we have, and you can make decisions. And we have 2 categories of products: product of own to sell and own to earn. So under the own to sell product, you see a project now, maybe the project is, say, maybe 5 million. And, you know, not everybody has 5 million. So what we do is that 5 million naira project, we can break it. Maybe there's a land in Mowe. We break it into 100,000. That's 50 units, 50 slots of 100,000. So instead of one person bringing 5 million, 50 of us can bring 5 million, or 10 of us, because people can do 1 unit, 2 units, 10 units, and the rest. Yesterday, somebody did 12 units of a certain asset. So it reduces the number of ownership. So what we do is that own to sell, we wait for a period of time, and it's already predetermined. I know that the Mowe one was 24 months. There's one we did for 18 months, and we had one in April for 13 months. I think that's still active. I'll check again. So you go, you fund the project with limited resources, and, you know, just put it there. Then after a period of time, after the specific holding period, we go sell the property at a higher value, and everybody cash out. So we have built real estate to a crazy state that even if you have 20K, because the project in Ekpe is 20K, with just 20K, you can own a slot of the project in Ekpe, and the holding period that we're going to keep it for we sell is 13 months. So after 13 months, boom, you you cash out because we sell the land and everybody gets it with capital appreciation. So that's what we're, but the own to end, which is the sweetest part, is that you buy the property, you invest in buying the property first, then the property is going to pay rent. So for instance, say you have a, so we have a rental apartment in Akonjo. So in the rental apartment, people come into it, is I think it's 2.5 million. We broke it into 130 slots of 250K per unit. So people buy each unit, and the it's going to be used for a short-let apartment, which will start from April, May this year. That's in like 2 months time. People will start earning from it, and you earn quarterly from it, because the apartment is going to be used for short-let. So everybody comes into it, and bring your 250K, bring your 250K, 500K, 750, 1 million. Some people did 2 million, 3 million, like that for the entire. I know that I think the number of units remaining from 130 is around 80. You can check it on the platform on my Abode app. So the project is going to be used for short-let. We're going to set up the interiors, do the chairs, television, everything, make it a proper short-let apartment. People begin to rent it out, and as they're renting every quarter, you get earning. And I know that in our projection, earning is around 11.7% thereabout, per annum, and you'll be paid every quarter. So that's another model. There's another model that's coming up, in the next few like in a month or so, and it's going to be for car. Not Uber and all those things. They are exclusive cars that, with your car, you make money, make 20K per day or something like that, so crazy things that, that you can begin to pay, do monthly payment. So that's what we'll build. We'll build a system whereby not just providing information, we're also providing opportunities for you to create wealth. So it's not, they do this, perspire. Okay, guys, sorry, village people are at work, but I'm not going to agree for them. So sorry, I'll just conclude here, and we'll start question and answers. I'll just stop here, but let me just share this last product with you guys. So this great project, short-let apartment. So 250K, even though on the 1st of March 2023, the price increases from 250K to 300K, increasing from 200K to 300K. So right now, if you do at 250K, everybody gets 11.7% per annum for that. That's for rent. Then you also have capital appreciation, because rent is free money. There's also the growth in the value of the assets, that after 3 years, we're going to, if you want to sell, you can also sell it. So there are 2 ways you earn when it comes to this short-let. The one you earn every quarter, and the one you earn at the end of the period, because real estate always appreciates. So it's going to increase by, by 20% to 300K by 1st of March. And by that time, your earnings, instead of earning 11% you'll be around 9% for people that come, come late into it. And one of the major things that we have decided to do is, make it an easy plan. People can be able to pay over a period of 3 months. So you make an 100K initial deposit, then you pay in the next within the 90 days period, you pay 50K, and you are good to go. But because of today's community conversation, and we're going to make it much easier for you guys to come in, and instead of making a 100K initial deposit, you can make it a 50K initial deposit. You can make it 50K initial deposit. But the other product, which is what's the name? And this is sold out. This was sold out 2 days ago. The other one, which is the Amber View, just 3 units that are available. I'm not sure if we'll have other units of 20K. So it's first come, first serve. You go to the platform, register, my Abode app, or get the link from the person that invited you for this particular webinar. Get their link, get their referral link, register, go on the platform. You are able to, sign up easily, authentication on your phone. You fund a project immediately, quickly fund the project so you don't miss out. Just 3 units remaining, and you cash out of this. Then the final one is the apartment. So instead of doing 100K initial deposit, because you came for this webinar, everybody webinar, your name is on the database. So we're going to allow for only people who came for this webinar to do 50K initial deposit. If you can do 50K initial deposit between now and 28th of February, then you will not be affected by the increase in price. You can now pay over a period of time. I think that I should just stop here. We're at fast spent for time, and thank you so much for listening to me. I think it's time for Q&A. So it's time for Q&A. If you have questions, you can drop it in the comment section, or you can raise your hand and you get unmuted, then you're good to go. Thank you, guys. Over to you, Damilare.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, can we put, in the chat room, can we please put our hands together for that, wonderful presentation. It's not even about the presentation, it's the evidence of the information, that has been dropped in tonight, just as a sign of appreciation, not to show that we actually appreciate the time, which I feel like been well spent for me. And this is not me trying to be exaggerative. Thank you so much for that, bullet. Like I said, if you're in this conversation, you're not meant to learn everything or to pick everything. Just pick the one based on your level, what you have right now, and your plan. We talk about your goals, your personal goals, and your personal objective. Your personal goal and your personal objective. Hello? Hello? Hello. Are you able to mute?
Can you mute them?
Can you mute them, please? That was not good. Okay, sorry about that. So because for us, we're very particular about not just gathering information and saying, oh, I am informed. There's some people that when they're in a conscious, I know that thing. But we're not saying, because the best way for you to see something is to see the result. One of my mentors would say that you don't doubt what you can see. You don't doubt it. I see what you can see like this. Except you're doubting Thomas. So guys, let's go quickly questions. There are people who have questions for clarity. If you have any question, can you please drop it in the chat? Rome, we are really pressed for time. We have less than 18 minutes to wrap it up here today. We want to wrap up by 12. So please, if you have questions, can you please just drop it up? Myself and Mr. Jeffrey, we'll be able to take the questions. Like I said, ensure that it's personalized. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. If you have any question, can you please just drop it in the chat room so that we can, make it a day from here. Okay. I think one is coming in already. Who is helping me with the muting of this thing? It's really serious. It's distracting back here. Thank you. Okay, so let me quickly answer some of the questions and then I can give to Mr. Jeffrey to also. Mr. Jeffrey talked about, okay, let me take the first one. A client was asking if we could own the entire unit of land on Abode and also build on it. Yes, that is possible. There are even many projects that we have access to, as Mr. Jeffrey has spoken about, that are not enlisted or even listed on the platform. Such a person is to send us an email. Because the infrastructure, technology infrastructure that we have right now allows you only to buy fractionally, as we're still building on. For someone who is interested in getting, he's also looking for opportunities like that, but wants to get as a whole, you can send us an email, right? And then there are people in the chat room section who can also help with, what you should do about that. And then Mr. Jeffrey, we have a question here that talks about exit strategy. Can you please enlighten us more about what this means? We can take that. Mr. Jeffrey, do you want to help us with that?
Okay, so let me just attend to that. So on exit strategy. So somebody's asking a question on how to get on the over 1K Abode community. So there are two Kanjal. I think I see Kanjal. I see you somewhere, but I'm not so sure. So there are two parts. There's the wealth community, which is the platform whereby we share information nuggets. It's just strict wealth conversation. But some people are taking it a step further by taking opportunities up. So we have the main investment community, which is you register on the platform. That's the web app, my Abode app, or speak to the person that invited you for this webinar. They will send you a link, a unique link that you can use to register. So we know that you came for this particular webinar. So those are the two categories. If you want to join the information community, you can, there's a number here that you could just chat up and you get, they will add you to the committee. But if you want to join the investment, you can also be in the two if you want to. So that's that on that question. Then the other one is on exit strategy. Yeah, exit strategy. So what's your goal at the end? So some people are they are not investors, they are real estate buyers. So there's a difference from a real estate investor and a real estate buyer. A buyer will just say, people are buying, where is raining, let's go and buy. That's a real estate buyer. But an investor will look at it, okay, where is raining? How much do I have? What can I do? Okay, with this amount I have in this particular location, strategic, in the next 5 years, the next 3 years, what are the possibilities? Even if all the things that they used to tell us, when you say real estate, realtors matter. So you say, it's 2 minutes from there. The international airport is building. The international airport, yeah, the construction has started, but it's not significant thing that they are doing there. So how long will it take, for the airport to be ready? So we look at it from a worst case scenario. If the government even flop and this airport does not take off in the next 5 years, what happens? Does this project have the capacity to do this? That's how we look at it. So an investor is much more critical, or an investor use smart advisors. Use smart advisor. You might not be very critical because you don't have knowledge of the industry, but use smart advisor, people that have knowledge of the industry. Say, guys, okay, this is what I'm thinking of. This project, which project can actually do this? What if all the externalities do not impact on the value of the asset? Okay, what can I do? And we'll be able to advise you on this. So exit is at what point you want to sell and how do you want to sell. You can sell and lose. That's another thing. You can sell and lose, and that's what people sell at distress. So you can sell and lose. You want to say, okay, how much of a capacity do you have? That because some people will carry their entire life saving, go and buy real estate. It's not a smart move, except you can be able to sustain yourself till you get back on track. But if it's your entire life and you cannot sustain, it's not a smart move. So there are a lot of things encompassing in it. You can have a private conversation, to look at certain case scenarios for your own investment project. But you can join I know you're in the community, both in the community and the opportunity, and I know that you have done some projects already. So on Abode, especially for this first set of projects, the exit is covered because we are working with all the people that funded project on our board. We are working with everyone on exit. So we are not just leaving you, because some of you are just new into the process of investment or in real estate. So we work from end to end, from the acquisition to the management, update, all those things, then exit, at least for now. Yeah, that's okay. I'm seeing other question.
Yeah, I see that question is coming in.
Okay. So I see question from Toluwani Ojo. He just said, I just got an idea. It's great. From this call, you already have an idea. You have to I was just told of a developer building a new project in my area. How can I make a partnership with him to help him get tenants and get an apartment from me for less the price, or probably rent free for the first year? This has a mixture of multiple things in one. So you are talking like a partner. You're also talking like an agent. So we need to be clear on which position you want to be for you to make the most of the decision. I know you have a follow-up question, or doing business with him using the 5 steps you just taught us here. Yeah, definitely you need to do, but you need to know, because so you can have a conversation with the person, look at the project, but you must be smart, because you need to know the numbers. If not, you just go and the person will just use it. So a friend of mine wanted to even do a rental. He wanted to join somebody to rent an apartment in Lagos. Then he came to me and told me everything. I told him that it's not a wise day, that he should not take it, even though he was desperate in need of an housing. I told him that he should just go and manage where he is, because what the person that was offering him the deal was going to do was that he's going to pay, the person has paid for the rent, and he wanted him to come and use one of the rooms. However, the money that he's going to pay to use for the room is more than the entire rent money. But the guy did not know. So I just thought that, bro, this area, this is the rent value. These have done business here before. This X and Y, Z. What you are literally doing is that you are paying for the rent and you're giving this guy plus. So the guy is a smart guy when it comes to this. So you must also know your financials when you're having this conversation. But is it possible? Extremely possible. So there's a phone number on the chat room, 08121937619, 08121937619. That's the support number for anything when you are dealing with, maybe you want to make a decision in buying an asset on Abode, or you just want to join the community WhatsApp group. Strictly financial education. There's strictly financial education. Benedict asked a question. They say, so I see there are categories of investment that can be made. There's one for 250K, 100K. 100K has finished. There's 20K remaining 3 units. What is the ROI on each of them, and for what period of time? Does the holding period influence the ROI on each offer given? So I did that before, but let me just do it quickly again. So first is, different projects have different growth potential. So for the 20K product, it's a own to sell. So we're buying it because we want to sell at capital appreciation. It will grow in price. And if you see the capital appreciation that are on the project, you see that they are capital appreciation that are devoid of externalities. So if external factors do not happen, the capital appreciation that we have identified is possible. So because it has to be a very make sense and calculated investment journey. So for that is it. Even though, so somebody will now ask that, is it now possible for us to have a higher capital appreciation? Why not? If you have a buyer that wants to buy at a higher price, bring the buyer. We'll sell at that higher price, and all of us will make more money. You understand? So that's also possible. So for the one in Ekwe, 20K per unit, capital appreciation in 13 months is 18 to 21% minimum. That's what we offer, that no matter what happens, this is what you're going to get, no matter what happens. Then does the holding period influence ROI? Yes, it does, to a great degree. We could tell you that, the holding periods, after the holding period, this is the X capital appreciation that can happen, and it can be greater than that. So at that point, the major things are at sale. And right now, we are committing to sell, especially for this first set of projects, we are committing to sell. So we are telling that, guys, this is the capital appreciation it will do. So in that case, even if it does less, for instance, which is almost impossible based on all our predictive analysis and all the things that we have done, is that Abode ensures that that is fixed. That is fixed. You don't get lower than what was promised to you, because integrity is much more critical. But does only period affect capital appreciation? Yes, it does. So that's for the own to sell project. For the own to end, which is the housing, that is the short-let apartment, what happens there is that for the short-let, you earn every quarter. So as people are renting the apartment, we gather the funds in a quarter, we give it to you, gather the funds. So you earn 4 times in a year from when you enter. Then that's about 11.75% per annum. Then also capital appreciation happens in 3-5 years. You'll come to a stage whereby you'll be selling the property for anything less than 25% or 35% capital appreciation. So you are cashing out on two ends. I don't know if I was able to answer that particular question.
Okay. I think that was greatly thank you for that. Just to, as we wrap up, like I said, we're already at the end. Again, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone, for taking that time out to be here. The attention has been great. I've been looking at the attendance. It's been very consistent. What exactly are we trying to do at Abode is one of those journeys that were started to help people, irrespective of the level of income, to own fractions of income producing and capital appreciating assets. We're saying that with as low as 20,000, you can also participate in all those things. Like I said, what exactly are we doing? We have said it over and over again. We know those projects that has the ability to have good returns and great returns. Also, there's a very huge caveat. When you go on our platform, which I advise that you should do today, registration is free. You can go there to register, right? Is that every of the assets you see us enlisted on the platform, majority of them have been sold out already. Thanks to all the guys that have been with us on this journey. You would see that that's what Mr. Jeffrey was saying, the returns that has been put on them are the least possible. To say if all things go worse. And so many of the people, for example, some people are getting paid in the month of March, and I'm already excited for them. Amazing returns on what they have done. We sent, asset report out recently. When it's time for announcement, which will be taken very quickly, we'll get to hear about all that. What we're doing is that with as little as we have, we can begin to participate. And you can even participate a fraction here, and begin to even enjoy what that income looks like. Begin to enjoy what making rent, collecting rent as a landlord, how it feels like, how to decide on when the house will be painted, how the rent should be upgraded. These are some of the things that the people who are owning the short-let together, they have the ability, they have voting rights. When it's time to increase the rent, they will be decisive of that and all those stuff. That experience is, amazing. We want you to be part of it, and you can start your real estate journey too, like that, with as little as 20,000. Mr. Jeffrey has also made an opportunity for 50 for you to start to be part of the owners of the short-let, a 2-bedroom, 18 minutes drive from the local airport, not the future airport, the present local airport. Amazing location for short-let, a very commercial and residential environment for us to be able to do that. And we have partners who are monitoring that. We'll come together with own house. We're moving to some other projects on the island, also very soon. There's a lot of amazing that you can begin to start on that journey. And that's the future for us. A future where an average Nigerian can own properties and can own assets that is generating income for them while you are still at this. So thank you. That's it for me in this Q&A. Mr. Jeffrey, can you please just help us run through the announcement, and then we can close. Thank you.
Okay, so quick announcements. So we can close today. Thank you so much. 3 minutes to go. The first one is I've announced the price increase for the short-let apartment goes from 250K to 300K on the 1st of March. And anybody that is getting it before then, goes. This is reality. So whether you like it or not, it's going to increase. So it's your choice. You can wait for first, which makes sense for the developer. They make more money. But if you are smarter, you do it now. So you're able to save 50K. So just imagine you're saving 50K from making a decision right now. You don't need to pay everything at once. And you have also no need to pay the regular initial deposit of 100K. You just have to pay 50K and you come in with it. And installment options are also available on some of the projects, which I've already explained. Then for everyone that buys into the project in April, May this year, we're going to be having housewarming for all the co-owners. So it's not just a tech business, it's a physical business. So aside from paying for the assets, so if you're on a 3-month payment plan, you have made your first deposit, you have made your second deposit, by that time you have gotten to April, May, you will come physically to check the project. You come and we are going to do housewarming. Yes, everybody will come together. We will see ourselves. It's not a virtual business. We are going to see ourselves live and direct. So get ready for that. We usually send asset report. We sent a recent asset report to all the co-owners. Then you will get asset report as it goes. So also, if you are looking at doing some people are saying, okay, this 250K, this 300K is small money. So if you want to really play the bigger game and but little risky but much more rewarding, you can also reach out to myself and Mr. Larry. So I don't know, I might just drop the contacts on the chat room. Ronke, please drop the contact again. So just reach out, okay, you want to play the big game, and then we can have conversation on it. So right now, the community group, we are reading a book because we read book monthly. We're reading a book right now, and we're going to do the book review today, so you can also join in. So I think that's all for announcements. So
thank you for that. Thank you for that, Bruce. Yes. So for those who are interested in the big game, we can have like a private session with you. The number has been dropped already on the group. For those who say it's an exclusive session for those who want to play from 5 million and above on some of the projects that were already, that are in. If you're interested, kindly send a message in to that contact that has just been dropped. For any other person interested in joining the group also, which is the World Community, you also want to put that, like I said at the beginning, we have a very vast, audience. Somebody said, I just joined in, please, I will get the recording. If you register, we'll send you an email, so you can reply that email and request that you need the recording of this session. So we'll be able to do that. Guys, like I said at the beginning, if you were here with me at the beginning, remember that I said that what you hear, only keep you informed. The actions that you take is what will transform you. Today is an opportunity. You've heard a lot. Don't just be an hearer. Sit down, make plans. If you need further clarification, some of those things, talk to the people who have invited you, which I feel like you should send them a new Valentine gift if you have not done that before. For someone to have shared an opportunity like this with you and say, kindly attend this for free. It means that if this person could see a program that is paid and is valuable, the person will point you in that direction. So please kindly send a thank you to the person that have invited you in the chat room. Let's do that as a sign of respect and as a sign that we truly appreciate. Kindly send it in the chat and say, oh, Mr. This or at this, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for inviting me. Just to show that, because if you have people who are inviting you to things like this, your future is bright. It means that these are not the kind of people that will invite you to places that is not value hardened. You have a strong network. So kindly say thank you to the person that have invited you. And then if you can support it with a Valentine's gift, it's not too bad. Maybe a car, a house, you can buy a subscription of Abode. Say thank you to that person. I have a strong conviction that if the person sees another program after today that is valuable, and even inquire money, they can pay for you to attend it. I love to have quality people like that in my cycle. Thanks to people like Mr. Jeffrey who has been there, also for things like this. It's a great thing, and we should not take it for granted. So, guys, you've heard a lot today. The summary of the lot that you have heard is that you take action. Is that you do what? Take action. As in, that will be the beauty of this gathering that we've all had together. And sometimes when we meet in the future, which might not be far from now, we can be able to say testimonial to say, oh, thank you for that. This one that you shared, I didn't take everything. I took only this one and I made use of it. And this is the result that I've seen. So guys, I'm employing you. I can't see many people. Many people, I'm meeting them for the first time. I saw somebody say he's a student from Ife. Amazing. It's a good place for you to be at a time like this. Take action. Do something today. There is a window that has been given to many of us who have listened to this event to say, even with 50,000, even with 20,000, you can start this journey. At least even start it and see how exactly that it works. If you have further questions, you can talk to the person that has invited you. Those individuals trust us. They've either worked with us in other platforms before, and they have seen that we have delivered over time. We are people of integrity. We don't say it. Our work speaks for it. Thank you so much, guys. And now let me invite Ms. Astrop as she takes us on the closing remarks, since I'm done from here. Oh, yes, you can give me a call after, Sandra. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Adoronke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Larry. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffrey. Thank you very much, everybody, for being a part of this meeting and for waiting till the end. Really, it's a lot of warfare from the network issues to distractions here and there, but yet we stay true. Thank you very, very much. We are grateful for your coming. I hope it has been as impactful to every one of us as it has been for me. We learned a lot today, we learned more about, poverty, how that, we are not supposed to, it's not, being rich is not about the money you have in your bank account, I always thought that's what being rich is, but really poverty is a state of mind, and there are so many, it's not about having lots of money. We learned that from Mr. Jeffrey. He said being rich is not about having lots of money, but enough residual income. Do you understand? So so many definitions were redefined, what real estate is. So many people think, okay, this thing is the way to go, this thing is the way to go, but realize that real estate can thrive anywhere in the world. And the only condition that might limit, the prosperity of real estate is war. We learned that too. So thank you so much for staying through. Once again, thank you, Mr. Jeffrey and Mr. Damilare. We really, really appreciate your time. And if you have more questions, like we have said, you can call this number 081-2193-7619. It is the Abode line directly. You chat up with the person in charge of communications, can connect you to Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. Damilare, can also connect you to the Abode Wealth community. Once again, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of today. Bye. And don't forget to enter the DM of the person that invited you to appreciate them, because it's really a time well spent. Have a lovely day today. Bye. See you in the next edition next month. God bless you all.
All right, see you guys next month. We'll be treating a different topic. We'll share it with the community members. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.